Hello, welcome back to my channel, to the Witchy Reader. I'm Zahara, and I will be chatting about a book I read recently, A Girl in Red by Alyssa Lount. It is book 5 in the Towers of Memory series, a series that I've talked about on the channel before, because I'm pretty sure I've done reviews for like every book in the series thus far. And I still have book 6 to read, which is the last book I have to read at the moment, until book 7 is done, at least, which book 6 I'm hoping to read this month, so the review will come hopefully either this month or next month, depending on when in the month I read it, because who knows, I might not even finish it until the end of the month, so, and even if I finish it this month, I might make the review until next month. You never know. Because technically I finished this book last month, and I'm doing it now at the beginning of this month, so who knows when I will get around to filming it. But anyways, I loved this book so much. I was anticipating this because I know the author had been teasing a big reveal moment for the character Red, which I might have mentioned in previous book reviews for the series. So basically, if you do not remember, Seraphina is half a witch. I don't think they ever used the word witch here, but she's all magical from her mother's side, and then she's all human from her dad's side. And so in book 1, she goes to a magical school. She gets in, and you have to do an entrance exam because you have to find out which tower you belong in. Dragon Tower hasn't been used in like a century at least, because usually they're very picky. They usually only choose 1, maybe 2 students, if even that, a year, and they don't want 1 or 2 students alone in a huge tower by themselves. So they made a rule saying only a tower has to pick at least 5 students for it to be used. So it hasn't chosen up to 5 students in at least a century. And then all of a sudden in Seraphina's year, it chooses 5 students, Seraphina being one of them. Move forward, they're in Dragon Tower. Seraphina is representative, which doesn't usually happen for first years, obviously, but there's only first years in Dragon Tower, so they had to choose a first year. So there's been drama with that as well. And then I love all the characters. I love their friendships. Which you'll probably hear in this video. Feathers is my favorite character. Feathers and Seraphina is my favorite friendship. And you're probably going to hear that because there is a chapter I absolutely love that has to do with the 2 of them, but we'll get to that. But yeah, so there's drama with that. Drama with the fact that she didn't really know her mom's side of the family because her mom left the magical world to marry a human, and her mother is the principal of the school. So there's drama with that. She's getting too close to her grandmother, plus one of her closest friends, who is in Dragon Tower as well, is Jarek. He is also her cousin. And after reading this book, I realized that all of Dragon Tower is queer. I did not realize that. I thought there was one straight character. Apparently he is not straight. I don't think he's fully gay. I think he might be bi, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm here for it. An entire queer tower, I'm here for that. I love Silica and Angelina. They're so cute. I love Angelina. Like, she is like so cool. Plus there's Jade, who isn't from Dragon Tower, but they become a friend of Seraphina's as well, hanging out with them. And yeah. Then there's Jarek has a boyfriend. I always forget his name. And then Feathers and Seraphina are both Arrow Ace, the Arrow Ace besties. So there's that. But yeah, because there's this whole thing in this book where Russell, I guess, this is like the second duel he was on, and to have a duel with another student, you have to have your representative and the principal, and I think, or not the principal, I think it has to be the head of the tower, which just happens to be Vivian Hurth, I believe. So, sign off on it. And they did, because Seraphina was like, you know what, just, okay, whatever. And it was all to get a date with this guy, and I'm just sitting over here like, I was in the same boat as Seraphina, like, why are you going through all this trouble to get a date? Like, why? But I don't know. Russell is something else entirely sometimes. But he cracks me up, so there's that. But so Red is the ghost that haunts Dragon Tower, and there's also this, like, what do they call it? Echo? Or there's echoes in the tower, and then there's M, who they talk to, and yeah, it's this whole thing. But Seraphina is cursed, so she has to train with Vivian, try to use her magic despite the curse, try to figure out how to use it despite the curse, and yeah. But, so the reveal I knew had to do with Red. You're gonna find out her identity, or who she is, what she is, whatever. I'm not gonna say it, because that's a huge spoiler, but I am still reeling over that twist. Like, I think I said this in my wrap-up, and my best reads of 2025 video, but out of everything that I could have imagined be the twist for who Red was, that was not it. That never would have crossed my mind in a million years, and apparently that was the plan from the get-go. Like, Alyssa always knew that's where this was leading, and I'm just like, what just happened? My brain is fried after reading that. And I know my heart's gonna be fried after reading the next book, because I know there's this big scene, so I know someone's gonna die, and I know it's gonna be twists about who is the person they're trying to find this book, because their last book something was stolen, so this book only Dragon Tower really knows about it, and they're not telling anyone because they're not sure who they can trust, who might be an accomplice to this, so they're all keeping it a secret. Plus there's this reveal with Red, which someone's in danger without spoiling anything. Making these videos are hard when I can't spoil anything. So yeah. Okay. But, on lighter news, I like that because everyone would be able to do this telepathy group chat sort of thing with their minds, and I, love that, after so much time, Feathers and Jarek finally found a way to get Seraphina to be able to be a part of that, despite her curse, which was blocking her from being able to hear them or whatever. So they were able to get around that. So that was nice. So she's a part of that now. And Russell's birthday chapter was on here as well. And that was funny because he started laughing at one of his gifts because he also has human parents, so he also understands the human world. And what made me laugh about this was he started laughing because only Seraphina understood this one gift he got, because this has something to do with like human things. And Celica and Feathers, I think it was were talking, and Celica was like, when do you think they'll ever tell us about the human world? Or I don't remember how she phrased it. He was like, I don't know, but I wish they would. And it was just funny because I knew that the two of them were like from the human world. They knew the human world and the others didn't, but I never really thought about the fact that they just decided not to tell them all these funny little things whenever it happens, just to annoy them. Which is so funny, but something only a dragon would do. Let's be real. But it had me laughing. It did. Because it reminded me of one, I think this was one of the really early books, like either first or second, probably second, but I might be wrong, when Seraphina wore, if I remember correctly, a shirt that has like an asexual phrase or something because she's Arrow Ace, and because I own a shirt that says, what does it say? It says, I've got an ace up my sleeves, it's me, I'm Ace, and I'm in these sleeves. So yeah, and Russell, when he saw it, he just started laughing because he was the only one that understood it, and I loved it. So yeah, but it hasn't made a joke like that, I don't think, sense, and the fact that the two of them just decided not to tell them whenever something only they understand shows up, and I'm laughing about that because it's just so funny, and it makes sense because I can totally see them doing that. But Seraphina came home one day, and she wanted to check out this place that M had sort of told her about a little bit at least, or maybe it was Red, and she wanted to investigate it, but she didn't want to do it alone, and she said, and what I loved wasn't that she asked Feathers to go along with her, is what she said, because I don't remember her exact words, but she was like, I can't imagine doing this with anyone else, and I just thought that was like perfect because they're like the best friends ever, and I love them so much. But it was like so interesting what they discovered, but then Seraphina got hurt because of the curse. But so I may have mentioned this in one of my previous book reviews for these series. Well, but at the end of these books are in Seraphina's point of view, and at the end of every book is a chapter that is usually, if I remember correctly, a scene that's already been shown, but this time in someone else's point of view. And or even if it doesn't show that scene, someone will be thinking about that scene, like reeling over it. Because I know Vivian Hurst had one when she just realized that Seraphina was her grandchild or whatever. And this one showed that scene again, but this time in Feather's point of view, and I absolutely loved it because it's one thing to see Feathers worrying about Seraphina and Seraphina's point of view, but to see Feathers worrying about Seraphina and Feathers' point of view was another thing entirely, and I loved every moment of it. I ate it up. Yeah, but as you can tell, I'm tired from all this talking, but as you can tell, I absolutely love this book. It was so good. I'm ready, maybe not, for the next book. But I guess I'm going to read it anyways. Will my heart be ripped out of my chest? It's very possible. I wouldn't doubt it at this point. Especially since I know that when Ellie read this book, like, she was sure that it was this one person the entire time. Turns out it wasn't. And I even made a joke on one of I think it was our last live we did, where I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I thought it was the same guy too? And they just started cracking up. Because that would be hilarious if I just assume it's the same guy that Ellie thought it was. That would be one red herring character. But anyways, moving on. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment if you read this series. If you want to read it, I definitely highly recommend it. It's one of my favorites. I'll try with you below in the comments. Until next time.